Hey Halifax, it's Andy, and I'm so excited to be on Chit Chat Chop with Patty tonight. We're going to be chopping something, we're going to be chit-chatting about something. Hope you'll join us.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Facebook Live. It is Chit Chat Chop. It is Wednesday night. It is 9 o'clock. And look who we have here.
Hello.
The best dressed man in Halifax, I gotta say.
It is a fine apron.
Today you had that like blue blazer on, and now you're like all like the color. I love it.
I was trying to, matching with the pink.
Yeah, I know, very well coordinated.
Summer vibe.
Summer
right?
vibe, summer vibe. So we are excited. We have MP Andy Fillmore here. Super, super exciting. And we're gonna make an awesome dish. We're gonna put him to work. And we've just been chatting for the last half an hour, so I've learned lots more things about him. And
I about you.
Yes, yes, you about me. And we're gonna chat all sorts of cool things. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Ginger and Adam are in the house, and we're just gonna go from there. We're already enjoying a little white. Cheers to that.
Thanks for having me on. This is
well, thanks for coming.
It's a great
Episode 48, we made it.
Now they say you stop the light to cheer and then not have
Okay,
a drink.
sorry, yeah. So yeah, okay, sorry. Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start with the little bits of information that we found out about you.
Oh.
Yes.
The good ones.
The research that Patty did.
Yeah.
Exactly. And how this sort of dish came out. So we were brainstorming earlier on in the week, and we were trying to come up with what are we gonna make you. And so we just learned that you are allergic to seafood.
Yeah,
unfortunately, like crustaceans.
In my 30s, became allergic. Imagine living in Nova Scotia and becoming allergic to lobster when you're 30.
It's
it was
very
sad.
challenging. Very, very sad. Very sad. And then you have a little bit of an egg allergy, but as long as it's cooked, you're good.
Yeah, all good there.
So cleared it out. So we decided that we are going to take something from a place you were born, but not raised. You were like literally born there and then came back to Halifax, which is where you have been raised your whole life.
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that place is called
that was Bloomington, Indiana, where my parents were going to school.
Yeah.
And I happened to be born there. And when they were done with that, we moved right back to Halifax. And my parents had a career of teaching in Halifax.
That's
and,
awesome.
And I had a career of going to school in Halifax.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And do you know what they're known for in Indianapolis? Or Indiana in general? What do they call them?
I feel like they're Hoosiers.
Hoosiers!
I know that they're Hoosiers.
Yes, he said it right. I had to practice that.
There was a great movie called I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was about bike racing. And
that was this. We're not going with bike racing, so you're good. You're safe. You're good. Yeah. So Hoosiers, and they have these things because they have the Indy 500 there, right?
Yes.
And they have all these foods that are sort of, and they sort of say that the pork tenderloin sandwich, which is a fried cutlet, pork tenderloin, is a Hoosier sandwich. It's very Indianapolis, very Indiana, and I thought, well, let's take that and make it Halifax. So a little tiny bit of where you were born, but really where you were raised, and all the foods that we have there. So how do you Halifax up a sandwich?
You probably put some donair sauce on it.
Oh yeah, we do have some donair, but we're gonna. You're right. You didn't even know. We're gonna put some donair meat on it.
And some donair meat even. Okay.
And we've got our pork, and we're gonna spice up the donair sauce. So we're not just gonna take it as is. We're gonna sriracha it up.
We like that.
So it has some kick to it. So
right.
I tried to figure out, okay, what are some common Halifax things? And one of the things is, Maritimes, we were talking about this, is that garlic fingers. You know, like in a lot of parts of the country, they don't do garlic fingers. I didn't know this.
It's a Halifax delicacy.
It's kind of a Halifax Maritime delicacy. So we're going to take some delicious naan bread, and we're going to do inside out garlic fingers, which is going to be the base of our Fillmore Crunch, which is what we have named the sandwich.
Fillmore Crunch. That's
Isn't that awesome?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
Fillmore, I love that. Now, did you ever watch Happy Days?
Oh yeah.
You remember the Malachi Crunch? That was a Happy Days thing. The Malachi brothers would give them. But I think I much prefer the Fillmore Crunch. Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, we don't do a hot sandwich here, but maybe this will make its way around on the city and be on somebody's menu because we tested it earlier and it's pretty delicious.
All right.
Pretty delicious.
Well,
okay.
I bet we could shop it around.
I bet you we could. So we're gonna make 2 of them because we're gonna share samples with our audience.
All right.
Our audience of 4. So here's our inside out naan, and we have just whipped up a little garlic butter.
Can I just ask you, inside out, what do you mean by inside out?
Well, so normally this would be the top of the naan bread. If you were to eat it, you would place it down on the platter like this, or you would put any seasoning on it. But we want this to be the top of the bun. So we're going to make the garlic fingers on the inside, so when it hits the meat, or it hits the cutlet and all the ingredients, that's all going to kind of glue it together.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Construction of the sandwich is important.
Okay.
Okay, So we have some garlic butter here that's just garlic, a little bit of citrus, so lemon zest, and then our herbs, okay? And you're just gonna spread that out nice and evenly across.
My hands are very clean.
We cleaned them.
Pre-washed.
We're good.
Very
We're
to
good.
go
We're good.
here.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Andy.
Well, my name's Andy. I like long walks on the beach. It's true, actually.
You and Adam.
I mean, I've never walked on the beach with Adam, but I'm sure like one of these days we're bound to run into. I'll run into you on Bayswater Beach with your son and my daughter, and who knows, we'll be walking on the beach after that. Well, playing matchmaker now.
Yeah,
I don't think we're ready for that.
We're ready. No. So obviously you're an MP.
Yeah.
But before that, you were doing.
I'm a city planner, and I had been a city.
Which is kind of cool.
I loved it and continue to love it. I like to think that I'm still a city planner. Once one, always one. And I get the great joy of being a city planner and an MP with a government that is very focused on communities, on, is this the right side?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, okay,
you're good.
On housing, on transit, on helping indigenous communities to be their best. This is a great time to be a planner in Parliament. And it turns out there has never been
You're the first MC?
city planner in Parliament before.
No
So,
way!
Yeah, that was really fun.
That's awesome. That's a great first.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. So we've taken this naan bread inside out. We've very, very lovingly coated it in garlic butter.
Skillfully.
Skillfully, yes. And then we're going to put on a local smoked cheddar, which is going to sort of be the cheese on that. Again, a little bit different than your standard mozzarella.
How's that, Patty? We good?
I think we're good. I think we're good. And then we're going to get into some dirty work with the three-step breading process.
Three-step breading.
We have an answer for
Oh.
the movie. Mia from Colorado.
Of course, the movie buff.
Breaking Away.
Breaking away! That's
And
it.
Mia for the win!
Thank you, Mia. That's beautiful. And the race was called the Little 500. You mentioned the Indy 500.
Yes.
So they call it the Little 500. And
Okay.
it's an amazing movie.
Awesome.
I was pedaling it with my hands.
Yes.
You saw that, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I
Thanks,
talk with my
Mia.
hands all the time. Yeah, Mia's really good. Okay, so we're gonna put these in the oven, 450, just till the cheese is melted. Which I'm actually gonna wait just a couple of seconds because the breading cutlet's gonna take a little. I know, it's pretty awesome, isn't it?
And the cheese, you said Gruyere?
It's a smoked cheddar, but you could use a smoked Gouda, you could use a regular Gouda, or Havarti. You could use plain mozzarella, but why use plain mozzarella when there's so many other great cheeses in the
Yes,
world, right?
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed. A little
agreed.
flavor, a little
I know,
personality.
a little personality. All right, so three-step breading. This is your key if you're gonna bread anything. You're gonna bread fish, you're gonna bread chicken, you're gonna bread cheese, you're gonna bread anything. You need 3 steps. So flour, egg, and then your coating. Your
Okay.
coating here tonight is panko,
Which is what?
a Japanese breadcrumb. So it's much lighter than your typical breadcrumb.
This isn't crunched up premium plus.
No, although that would be yummy. You could do that.
'Cause that's
Or,
a
you
thing.
know, crunched up cornflakes
Oh,
or,
yeah.
that works. Crispic
Chicken
cereal,
breakfast,
crunched
yeah.
up. You know the best breading? I learned this in Alaska when I had a job in Alaska. Ritz crackers. If you buzz them up because they're buttery and they have a little seasoning on them, so when you fry them, they're crispy but soft. They're quite
That's
delicious. Yeah.
A little, maybe with the cheese Ritz crackers.
The cheese
That's
Ritz.
a whole
Oh,
other idea.
yeah.
Okay.
So we've got panko, we've got eggs, and then this is just a seasoned flour, which we're gonna dip the pork in. And so what we're using tonight for this lovely tenderloin sandwich, the Hoosier sandwich, Fillmore Crunch, is pork tenderloin that we've pounded out, and we're just soaking it in buttermilk and a little bit of our barbecue spice.
No big whoop, just soaking
No
it
big-
in
just
buttermilk
soaking,
and
yeah.
barbecue spice.
Anytime you want to tenderize any meat or any kind of fish that you want to have a little bit, you soak it in buttermilk.
Really?
Yeah, anything. Calamari, if you soak it in buttermilk, it's like way better.
Is there something that you can say that's going on there, like some sort of chemical
I would say
magic?
it's. I don't know. I'm not a chemist, but my guess is, from a chef perspective, is the acid in the buttermilk helps tenderize the meat
Okay.
without it adding like a vinegar or a citrus to it, right? Which
Right.
then is going to overpower in flavor. So you're going to get that same kind of tenderness, but with the mellowness of milk. So it's not going to change. Yeah.
Nice.
So the rule with this, we got to crack some eggs first. So let's do 4.
Sweaty eggs.
I know, sweaty. Well, it's very cool here in our air-conditioned kitchen. Melting of the makeup. Okay, so let's do 4. You can crack those, and then we're just going to whisk those up.
Can you do like 2 at a time or anything fancy like
Well,
that?
I'm not going to show you what.
Yeah.
You do a good job.
I'm gonna do, and we want the whole egg, right? Not
Whole
the,
egg, yep.
All right.
So I will teach you. That was very well done.
Not
But
bad.
you know what? If you do it on a hard surface,
Yeah.
you have less likely of a chance that you're going to get shells in.
So,
Because it's
so you
so
give
it's
it a whack
one,
and then you
get
pull it apart.
And then you pull it apart because that way, when you do it here, you get a more severe break and the shells kind of move into the membrane. There you go.
I don't see a single shell fragment in there.
Look at you.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done.
I'm
All right, whisk it
learning
up.
so much in the
And
first
here, if you
4
want to
minutes.
wipe your hands, there's a clean
Thank
cloth
you.
for you.
Appreciate that.
Yes. I'm looking after you.
I wouldn't want to have the whisk fly out of my hand and
No, you
have
wouldn't
a
want
terrible
that.
whisk accident.
That would be viral.
Are we gonna?
Yeah, whisk her up. Whisk her up,
No,
whisk her up.
This I don't really. We're gonna give it our best.
Okay,
shot
so
here.
you're a planner. You were part of HRM by Design,
I had the great pleasure of being the project manager for that project,
which is awesome.
which was a project to try to bring development back to our urban core.
Yeah.
But
Which
with,
has happened.
Which has happened in a big
lot.
way,
Yeah.
but with a design aesthetic. So not just building buildings for building sake,
Yeah.
but with a really good sort of design guidelines. And that has happened. So we're enjoying a wonderful renaissance in downtown
Yeah.
Halifax now. I think we've managed to find the balance between new growth and heritage preservation because we are one of the oldest cities in Halifax in the country, and that's a really important balance to find.
Good
And
job.
how's that?
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Good.
All right.
And of course, the more people that live downtown, the more people can walk to work or bike to
Yeah.
school and live more healthy lives, and we spend less of our tax dollars on infrastructure. So that's a good thing.
That's a really good thing. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so 3-step breading is flour is your first step, egg, and then your coating. So we have taken this flour and we have added salt and pepper to it.
Okay.
We've also added, and we're going to add a little bit more of our barbecue spice. So this is just paprika, cumin, coriander. I believe we have chili
Are
powder
you
in
giving
this.
away a proprietary?
No. I don't. I'm an open book.
Open book.
You can have
okay.
any recipe you
Open
want.
source
I always say
barbecue
that.
spice.
Yeah, so that's our barbecue rub, which we put on chips. We put on all our smoked products.
Okay.
It's pretty yummy. We make it in big vats and
Oh, nice.
store. Yeah.
Do you
So-
grind the spices too?
We grind some, so we do we do our own pepper in house. So we
Oh,
get yeah, because there's just a noticeable difference when you grind your own pepper. So they don't grind it like every single time, but they grind it in 1 liter deli.
Builds
tubs.
the wrists up.
Yes. So you did your eggs, and again, you want to season every step. So we're going to do salt and pepper in the eggs,
Okay.
and I took the whisk away, so we're just going to quickly.
So when I cook at home and I'm constantly adding pepper here all through
That's
the
the way to
process,
do it.
that's not
That's
bad.
called layering of seasoning.
Layering the seasoning.
See, you didn't even know you were doing
even
it.
know that.
Didn't even know.
It was an instinct.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then we have our panko,
Okay.
which again has a little salt and pepper in it. So you want to make sure that every single step is seasoned,
Okay.
or else you're just going to get flat. All right, so in here we have our pork cutlets. I need a bigger tray. Can you grab me a half sheet tray, Ginger? Please,
We're gonna
and
need a
thank
bigger
you.
boat.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not all going to fit on that. Okay, so the key is, and people will tell you this, if you start with one hand and you do this, your hand's going to get gunked up with coating. So keep a wet hand and a dry hand.
Okay.
Wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. It's hard, but once you get down to it. So you're going to take one of these. I'll do the first one, and then there's 2 other ones in there. So again, we've pounded down. This is just a pork tenderloin. We've butterflied it out and then just pounded it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go.
Thanks, Ginger.
No, I got this. Yeah, no, I got this right. I was going to say, did I get this wrong? No, I'm right.
I'll let you know if
I'm
you
right.
make a mistake.
Okay, thanks. Wow, that's great. I just normally
I'm
fly
here-
with it.
I'm
Okay.
a public servant.
You're a public. You're here to. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our
Okay.
flour, and then we stick it right in our. Again, I'm going from dry to wet,
I gotcha.
and then I let it hang out, and then I'm going to flatten it down, and then I'm
you'll
going to
pick
go
it
back
up
to
with
dry.
the-
And I usually just pull some crumbs over, and then I just open it all the way up,
Okay.
and then push it down.
So you're sort of pushing it into the
Yeah, so
into
you
the
want
egg and into the mix.
every little surface covered in the coating, because if you don't coat it, then what happens is you get really greasy on the inside. So the coating, if you have it all the way around, sort of creates like an envelope or a shield, so then
Okay.
the meat doesn't get greasy,
Oh, nice. Okay.
right? So that's what you should look at. So you have 2 more to go.
Okay.
Okay,
so,
you're alone. I'm gonna go wash my hands.
Okay,
So
I'm
we
gonna.
have Louisa here from Texas.
Oh, Louisa from Dallas.
Hey, Louisa, how are you?
From Dallas, we have Mia from Colorado. We have lots of locals here. We have Amanda Robinson from Toronto.
I almost made 2 wet hands, but I
Oh, you thought about it.
So who is from Dallas, Louisa?
Louisa, and Patty was just on her
Yes, she is amazing.
Oh, yeah?
Well, she's got so many things going on, but we're just on a kindness summit. So her story is Pass the Love. So it's about every day
Oh, nice.
being kind. And so she had 6 people that are being kind.
Right.
Yeah, there, he's got it down. So she had 6 people on. No? Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yeah. And then there. Oh, you got it. sort of 6 people on talking about how they basically have positivity and kindness in their lives. And so there's a little, what was his name?
Show Love.
Show Love, President
TJ.
TJ.
No, TJ was his dad.
TJ was his dad, and then he was President, he's a
Austin.
little, President Austin. He's a little 4-year-old, and he went around and gave, he gives
Oh,
food,
that's
and
fabulous.
he's based out of DC? No, he went to
He
DC.
went to DC, I can't remember.
Anyway, so she interviews people, and she does this once a month, and then every day she's spreading kindness and love and fill
That's
the world with kindness. So she's
fantastic.
awesome.
And one of those days when you wake up not feeling awesome and you go on Facebook and there's a lot
There's
of
Louisa.
big smile and she's all over.
Making it all awesome.
Yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you for that, Louisa.
Yeah, no, she's really great.
Here's something that Louisa, for you, little known fact. When I was a brand newly.
Brand newly. That was really well said.
Delete.
Just graduated city planner. I was working for a firm in Boston, and I was working on something called the Dallas plan. So I actually have, believe it or not, a little city planning experience in Dallas. And I remember the Henry Hines Boulevard, which I'm sure you know
Okay.
very well. Yeah. Okay, I'm talking too much now.
No, you're good.
So how are we doing here?
Pull that out. There's one
It's
more.
out. Okay,
We got one more.
Austin,
West.
Alabama.
West.
That's where Austin is.
Oh, okay. Austin was in Alabama. Anyway, she had some great people, including myself.
Obviously.
In the heat of Halifax, it was like 32 degrees and I was melting, but I looked good.
You did look good.
I had my moments.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the coolest thing about being an MP?
Every day is different. I'll tell you
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. Well, let me start by saying
Okay.
you get to help people. So every day,
That's pretty
my
cool.
team and I get to help people, whether it's bringing families back together that might be in really hard parts of the world where there's war or drought or famine and people are trying to get to a better place, trying to make their lives better. And as we know, Canada has distinguished itself as being a very welcoming place
Yeah.
for that. So in my little office in downtown Halifax, we help people every day and every week to get back together with their families, to get people out of difficult parts of the world.
You went
to
dry,
become-
went dry. I know.
Oh, did I do
but
it?
you did so well up to the last one.
Don't stop it.
Oh,
No, this is a
man.
good
I know, this is a good
story.
story. I know I interrupted. I
So
apologize.
that's a good one. But then like and things like that, helping veterans to get the care they need is a really big piece of it. But I, sort of more topical maybe for people watching is how every day is different. And when we were getting ready tonight, I was telling you the story about how I caught a shark yesterday.
Yeah.
And helped to implant a satellite tracker beacon in it that helps the Ocean Tracking Network in Halifax, out of Dalhousie University, to track. They're up to, I can't remember how many, I think 10,000 sea animals now they're tracking around the globe. And I got to name the shark,
Oh, wow.
and I named it after my daughter. So now there's a tag 6155 is a beautiful female blue shark swimming around the North Atlantic Ocean named Daisy.
Love it.
That was a pretty good
That's a pretty good one. All right, you want to go wash your hands? I'll let you off the screen for a
All right,
minute.
thank you.
So I think he did a pretty excellent job here. It's like he's got some experience. Yeah.
All that work on the upper deck.
All that work, yeah. He was telling us stories earlier about his early days in food service, which sound pretty horrific. Busboying, dishwashing, all the glamorous things that you do.
Right.
Yeah. But no, so that's awesome. Yeah, I saw you, I think you had a Twitter post where you were on the boat, and I wasn't going to offer you wine tonight, but then I saw you were drinking a big spruce beer, and I thought, oh, this man, he knows how to have some fun too.
Well, the Ocean Tracking
Fun at
Network
work.
has a partnership with Big Spruce Breweries.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Where every year Big Spruce does a particular brew that 50 cents from every can goes to help to fund the Ocean Tracking Network.
Oh.
So last year it was a great white beer. This year it's a Ray or a Skate. Oh, I'm gonna forget now, but it's a Ray or a Skate beer.
Okay.
So they've got a beautiful partnership.
That's awesome.
And this Friday at Stillwell Beer Garden
Yeah.
on Spring Garden
Yeah.
Road, they're having the Ocean Tracking Network Big Spruce party celebrating this year's
Will
Big
you be
Spruce
there?
beer. I will be there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we have many of the components. So we're going to drop these in the deep fat fryer. I'm going to disappear behind the pink sign, and I'm going to drop them in. And then we're going to, actually I should put these in now. I forgot to do that. I got talking. So we have our garlic fingers going in. And then we're going to do some, instead of bacon, because often you would put bacon on this kind of sandwich, this
Okay.
ooey gooey Fillmore Crunch. We're going to do donair meat, just to make it even more Halifax.
So that's what the donair.
That is
comes
what the
in.
donair meat
All
is
right.
for. And we have a side of donair sauce, which we're going to put on, and you can also dip it in. But so I'm going to turn this pan on, and if you want to lay out like 5 or 6 pieces of the donair meat,
Should I count to 60, or is it good to go now?
It's good to go
or-
now.
Okay. All right.
it's gas. You're playing with gas. We're good. I'm disappearing.
Can you said 6 or 8.
6 or 8, whatever fills the pan. All right.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, talk about yourself. Tell us a secret.
Oh.
Is there a secret
Well,
about yourself?
About myself. I will tell you this. I have a very loud and good karaoke machine.
Are you a karaoke-er? I love karaoke.
Yeah. My favorite is to host the party, and then, sometimes you have to inspire.
Do you film people and then
No.
all the black?
There's
Okay,
there's
good.
a pretty strict no filming rule. So Adam can't come.
Yeah, no, I know. Adam's off limits. All the gear would be confiscated at the door. Yes.
That's right. So
That's awesome. What's your favorite karaoke song? Or like, what would you say is your number one karaoke act that you do? Like, if you're going to inspire anybody and really like bring the creme de la creme out, what are you performing?
I feel like I'm good at a different song than other people think I'm good at.
Oh,
so
okay.
the one that gets
you're
the best.
one of those.
Yeah. I do a very mournful Allison by Elvis Costello. So it's not really, you can't really dance to it.
Yeah,
It's a great tune. We love Elvis.
All this
But-
stuff. All in this.
Oh, Paul
yeah?
Lamb's coming up
Oh, okay.
next week. Next week's Paul Lamb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
he's fun.
we're talking about open source. I like to share my karaoke songs with Paul. We can both be good at.
Okay.
But the one that people seem to like the most, honed at the Lions Head over several years before I was
my
an
God.
elected politician.
Before you were an elected politician, you hope
Is-
no videos come out. Yeah.
Is Rhinestone Cowboy. So that's there I said it.
Oh,
And there we go.
wow. I love it. We're going to definitely do karaoke at some point in the future. All right, I'm going to give you these so you can flip them, and I'm just going to go check on the pork. Talk amongst yourself.
So I've never cooked donair meat as if it were bacon before. This is it seems to be going well. I think we're ready for a flip over.
Yeah, you see you got a little bit of caramelization on. That's what you want. Keep flipping it,
Flipping. We can always go back.
We can always go back if needed.
Someone told me you should only flip a steak once.
It's
Is that
true.
true, donair?
Yes. I don't know about donair beef, but you should only flip a steak once. Unless you want to get super fancy, and then you can like flip it twice and do cross marks on it. Like those professional marks,
Like
which make you look like a pro.
right.
Yeah.
Like they do on the TV guys.
So do you cook much at home?
I do.
So what's your favorite dish to cook?
I have been making tacos for a long time. That's one of my favorites. I love spicy food.
Like beef tacos, chicken tacos, fish tacos?
Mostly beef, but I'm
Okay.
I'm expanding into the new worlds now.
Okay,
So
okay.
fish is coming up. I have just figured out how to make risotto, which is it took me quite a while to figure out risotto.
I think we're doing a cooking class on this.
We are.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did one last year, all things risotto.
Awesome.
Yeah. Not just plain, so other substitutes that you could use for arborio, plus also other things you can do with risotto, like dessert recipes and risotto cakes. You have leftover risotto, how you can turn it into other things
That's amazing.
for dinner parties. Yes, you'll have to come.
I would love to.
Okay, I'm not talking to the mic. Is that
No,
what
I just
you're-
making sure. Louisa said, Rhinestone Cowboy is the jam. Is what she said.
Oh,
That's
thank
totally
you,
Louisa.
Much appreciated.
Okay, Louisa, you're coming for karaoke. That's
Yeah.
the way it's going to work here.
I think we might have
Are we
some
good?
cooked meat. Or what do you think?
All right. I think it's pretty good. That's good caramelization.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, we're going to turn that off. We're going to check our... Oh, we're just getting bubbly. Oh, look at that. All right, we're going to turn that
Don't
off.
mind the smoke. That's perfectly normal.
That's the cheese putting on the bottom of the oven that Patty's known for that.
Very
Like Sarah
nice.
just came on.
Well,
Hi, Miss Sarah. All right, we're going to get all the components ready.
I don't think there's any such thing as too much cheese, right?
No, I'm with you. Oh, I'm sticking to the rack. There we go. Kevin's not going to be happy tomorrow because I put cheese on the bottom of the oven.
Did you? Look at that.
Don't you put foil down there? I would not
No.
put foil down
These
there.
puppies are hand
No,
scrubbed.
no,
yeah?
hands, yeah.
Wow, okay.
All right, so we're gonna do donair sauce as a side that you can dip in. We're gonna put a little bit on, but you can't just have plain donair sauce.
No,
And I have to tell you a secret. I hate donairs.
I didn't hear a thing.
I know.
I didn't hear
My
it.
husband,
Crazy.
my husband loves donairs.
So the
and
takeaway is your husband loves donair.
my husband loves donairs. And Chef Alain, the Kildare chef, who comes on often and is a colleague, we're going to be with him tomorrow at Ocean Festive in Shediac, New Brunswick.
Please tell him hello.
I will tell him hello. He reps Mr. Donair and loves donairs, and so every time he comes up, he brings me these donair stuff that I have to. Anyway, so we're gonna jazz it up with.
So will your husband cook the donaires?
Oh yeah, my husband cooks more than I do at home.
Oh really? Oh, nice. Well, good, proper
Yeah,
thing.
it's a proper thing,
Good.
exactly.
You've achieved
Done my
a
time.
victory there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done my time. I cook some things. I cook Sunday dinner sometimes.
So did you? What? How do you make donair sauce? What's in there?
Oh,
Do we talking about that,
no,
or
we
we just gonna
can, but
gloss
that's
that
part
over?
of what's gross.
Well, let's just gloss that over then.
Vinegar, sweetened condensed milk, sugar.
You really
A
sold
little bit
it.
more sugar.
Yeah,
You really sold it.
I know, I sold it. But we're gonna elevate it with sriracha.
Ah, very nice.
Yes, so we use Mr. Donair's donair sauce tonight. Oh,
Okay.
maybe I should open it all the way up. There we go. And then you can stir that
Wow,
up.
okay, that's
you
a-
want some sriracha in there. We need
That's
some
a healthy. Can you see
healthy
that?
dose.
That's not a little bit of sriracha.
Oh, these pork cutlets, Andy, you nailed it.
Oh, sweet.
Look at that.
Oh
Look
my-
at that.
how did you- That's incredible.
That went in the deep fat fryer.
Is that
Isn't
like a
beautiful?
Julia Child thing where you secretly made those
Secretly
perfect
made? No,
before,
they're all
hours
you.
before?
All you.
So
That's
Louise
beautiful.
says she doesn't know what a donair is.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so I think we should hear from.
Yeah, what is the
What
donair,
is
Andy?
This is your.
Oh, okay.
From the man that's raised in Halifax. I'm not
Donair?
even from Halifax.
Donairs were named by the Halifax City Council the official food of Halifax earlier this year, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And they were donairs were brought to Halifax by Lebanese immigrants. I think back as far back as the 70s. Started by a company called King of Donair, and it tends to be smoked grilled lamb meat on an open pita with this beautiful donair sauce, not with the sriracha. Tomatoes, onions, the sauce, wrapped in foil, almost like a shawarma, but better in many ways, and often eaten at the end of a long evening out on the town.
Having some big spruce beers.
Usually with some big spruce beers, usually dribbling down your shirt and off your elbow. And my mouth is literally watering just telling you the story right now. So those are donairs, and they are a Halifax feature.
And you probably know this, but donair sauce doesn't come out of khaki pants very well when you're walking home.
I did not know that.
It stays in forever when you're walking home. That's all it's done.
No, and a few times I've asked to substitute the donair sauce with tzatziki, with the yogurt.
Oh no, that's you do not do that on the East Coast.
So I've stopped doing that.
If you go to the West Coast though, if you go to Vancouver, that's all they have. They have, and that's what I like. I love tzatziki.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get it. Okay, so we're gonna build a sandwich now. I'm gonna get a platter.
Did we tell the story of where this film? I'm sorry about.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Were you not paying attention, Ginger? Come on.
Welcome, Ginger.
Yes. No, we picked the place that he was born
Okay.
with the place where he was raised and is all about Halifax, and we're marrying the two. It's gonna be exciting.
A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
A little bit rhinestone cowboy all the way. Okay, so we're gonna take our inside out garlic bread.
Okay.
We're gonna lay one down, and then we're gonna take a tiny little bit of that, just a smear.
Just maybe what's already
Yeah,
on.
just
like-
smear it on both sides.
Is that enough? Do you think?
I think that's enough. And actually, I'm gonna put it on the cutting board because I'm gonna cut this sandwich so
Okay.
everybody can see it. Then we're gonna take one of these beautifully. I think that's like the best one.
Have you ever seen a cutlet that's so expertly triple
No.
breaded?
I mean, look at that, Andy Fillmore. I mean, you're knocking it out of the
Thank
park.
you. I had a very good teacher.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. We're gonna put. Do you like tomato?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're gonna take a little bit of tomato and not too much.
That's
and I
a
like
nice Roma tomato.
a nice Roma,
Yeah.
just thin because we don't want it. You don't want too much tomato. My husband would eat this with totally out tomato, but let's cut. We're gonna go tomato
love the
across.
tomato.
Here we go. All right. So then we need a little pickle. So we have some beautiful dills, which we're gonna do the same thing. So we have that all the way across.
Okay.
All right. And then we have this beautiful slaw. So this is a broccoli slaw, but you could use any kind of slaw. And we just did a creamy kind of caper lemon
Caper.
dressing on it. But you could do anything. You could do a vinaigrette base if you'd rather, or you can just do like a standard sweet and creamy.
So all the green that I'm seeing there is broccoli.
Broccoli. Stalks of broccoli.
Not cabbage.
No, all broccoli.
It's like magic.
That's
kitchen
what we're
magic.
about here. Kitchen door catering. Magic.
Magic. Magic slaw.
Andy is learning all of our tricks and trades and magic. All right, so we are going to load that on top.
Okay.
Look at the Fillmore Crunch.
That is beautiful.
And then we're going to take some beautiful lettuce here, hydroponic lettuce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hydroponic.
Nice.
See, you could just have it like this and feed that little knot of water, and you would have beautiful lettuce all the time.
That's incredible.
You just
It
put a
would
little-
keep on regenerating from the inside
Yeah.
out, kind of.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Huh?
So is that? Do you grow it or
No.
No.
But there's lots of hydroponic
could.
growers. I could. Well, I could do anything. No. I'm kidding. I can't grow lettuce. Okay, and then we're gonna take the top, again the inside out, and we're gonna lay her down. And then we're gonna cut her in half. We ready for this? The big reveal.
Oh my word! Look at that cross section.
Yeah, that's our
Bravo,
the
Patty.
Fillmore Crunch,
Bravo.
and then we're gonna do this double stack because the double stack
Oh my God! The
is
double
what it's
stack.
all about. And then
Are
we
you
have
kidding me?
some beautiful kettle chips.
Because what would a
Because you
sandwich be
need
without
kettle chips, right? And we're gonna move those out. And then we're gonna put a little bit of this jacked up donair sauce with sriracha. And then you can have a little dip if
Do
you
the
want.
dipping,
Because
yeah.
some people are really into dipping.
Like an au jus.
Like an au jus for the Fillmore Crunch.
That's chef
So
talk.
what do you think about your Fillmore Crunch?
I think it is the most
isn't that kinda
beautiful
cool?
sandwich that I have ever seen.
Inside out garlic naan fingers, bib lettuce, lovely crunchy pickles. We have a tangy. Oh, I didn't put the donair meat on. Oh, look, Ginger points it out. Oh, of course, my husband, the donair eater, points it out. Oh, we're gonna fix that up. Don't worry. Look, we're gonna
Look,
unstack.
This is the prototype, okay? We're learning and
Look,
loving
no, look,
here.
look. It's so gonna be so easy. 1, 2.
To each side, right? And you're putting
Yeah.
it on top of the slot.
Well, if you
between
pull it off, the lettuce is gonna be stuck. Just stick her in there.
Okay, there we go.
Thanks for catching that. All right.
Thanks, hon.
Thanks, hon. Woo woo. Yeah, he'd be like, she would totally leave the donair off. There we go. What do we think?
Okay, so
So
I
is
think
it
it's
name worthy?
absolutely it is.
I think it's awesome.
So tell me what you think the price point would be.
Well, I mean, it looks Goliath, but pork tenderloin is not super expensive. It's not your most extreme cut. Like it's fairly inexpensive from a cut of meat.
$20.
Oh my gosh, $100 because it's the Fillmore Crunch.
We're bidding, okay?
Yes.
Can we link
I
over to
challenge
eBay?
a restaurant that serves delicious mega sandwiches to put this on their menu because I think it's menu worthy. And we're not restaurants, but look at this. Look at this sandwich, the Fillmore Crunch.
It's a
Somebody's
work-
got to do it.
It's a work of art. It's brilliantly
Pork
conceived.
cutlet.
It's cross-cultural.
I know.
It's
And the name,
Naan.
the name
local.
just adds-
The name just adds so
name
much
adds
local
so much-
flavor.
So much better than a malachi crunch. What could be better than a Fillmore crunch?
Fillmore
That's-
Crunch, exactly. All right.
That's great.
So that's you. You get to eat now. I'll make one other one for everybody else. Anything
Well-
else you'd like to add or talk about that we missed?
I don't feel right eating when
Oh
everybody
no,
else
they're
isn't
gonna eat.
eating. Are
Well,
you
you're the
sure?
guest. That's the way it works.
So I'm gonna.
Maybe you should
Maybe we can do it off.
Maybe I'm just gonna.
No,
Bask,
we want to watch
bask
him. We
in
want to
the-
see how he eats it. I mean, it's pretty mega.
I'm gonna
right?
eat it with my mouth. All right.
You're
Look
hilarious.
at that pork cutlet.
I know. Look
So
how
good.
well done. Look how perfect
right.
it is. And let's see what he says. You might need a napkin, Ginger.
Oh my god. Gosh. Oh my
Would
god.
you buy the Fillmore Crunch?
$100.
$100.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, we could have a party with all your friends and we'll just make a whole bunch of Fillmore Crunches. That'd be fun, huh?
Adam is pacing. He's so jealous of it. He doesn't know what to do over there. He's gonna leap over.
I know sometimes I
I'll
make
save
things
you
he
half,
doesn't love,
buddy.
but all right. Cool. So yeah, anything we missed? You love living in Halifax. You
Oh,
love
my
being
word,
an
yeah.
MP. You love helping people.
What's not to love in Halifax? The city is on an
Parking?
upturn right now.
Parking. Can you do something about that while you're
We had to go negative.
I know.
We had to go negative.
Controversial.
So no, here's
Get
the
a
thing.
bite.
You're gonna see this hilarious. I know, but you're gonna think this is hilarious because I don't go downtown that often. I live out here in Bedford, so I mean, I go to town maybe twice a month, which totally, I love Halifax. I love all things Halifax. But I went down
Halifax
for
loves-
Neptune for the kitchen party,
Yeah.
which was epic and awesome.
Isn't that a good show?
Oh my gosh, it was such a great show. Heather Rankin was on that night, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, we had Jeremy on. Jeremy Webb, the director.
Yeah, was he here?
Yeah, he was
Oh.
here, and then he was sitting behind me the night that I
was
went. I was
Jeremy?
like, how small world is this?
Yeah.
But that would be my only thing to say. But I know they're going to fix that. We're just in construction, right?
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
I-
As a city planner,
We don't need to get into this too deeply, but the lack of parking downtown is largely a myth, and that's position is backed up by data. There are tons of spots that go unparked in every single day, usually on the upper levels of the parking structures, but they're there.
It's laziness.
It's a little bit like, oh my God, one more ramp. Honestly, really, do I have to take 40 more
I
seconds?
go all the way to the top of the ramp.
So, well, then you must be going on fireworks days.
So how about that local
I'm totally
That's
kidding.
right.
I'm totally kidding. I only go down, and when I go down, I'm like,
The Halifax Wanderers. Check a game out
They
at
were,
the
our
Wanderers
chef went
grounds,
with his,
yeah?
with his son. He said it was awesome.
Yeah.
No, I'm just razzing it. No, there's
Oh,
lots of
no.
awesome things.
There is, and a lot of your
Halifax
competition's
is
down there
great.
too, I guess.
Yeah, my competition
That's
is
the
down
true
there.
story. That's why it's the competition's downtown.
Yeah. There, you know what I said? We had somebody today that asked one of our sales coordinators, "Who's your competition?" And I said, "We don't really have any
No,
competition."
that's true.
We don't.
No competition.
No, we
Go on.
don't. Look, we are unique in what we do. Yes, there's other caterers. They all have their market segment, and they all do an excellent job in their market segment. And we have our own market segment, and I'm all about that. There are caterers in town. People go, "Oh, he does like 60 weddings, or they do this," and I'm like, that is super for them. Like that means there's lots of business, and that is great, and they are filling a need that I'm not filling.
Can we just get her a mic so she can?
That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So, all right. So, anything else did I miss?
I don't think so. Do you want to talk about your new space or what's
Oh,
coming
I
up
talk
for
about
you?
that all the time.
You
This is
talk
about
about
you.
that.
This is all about you.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh,
When do you go head back to
why?
Ottawa?
Well, the House of Commons goes back into session on September 17th.
Okay.
And okay, well, look, I'll tell you. I will share with you one thing I'm very excited about.
Okay.
About my journey as a member of Parliament. I know we've talked a lot about being a planner, and about infrastructure
Yeah.
and communities and all that kind of thing. So I arrived there as a freshman planner with these really big ideas about how we could make Canadian communities more sustainable, more healthy, more walkable. At the exact same time that the government was talking about doing like a massive investment in infrastructure across the country, like
Okay.
unheard of, like
You
completely
would think that would be
unprecedented.
win-win.
You think so? Members of Parliament get to do this thing called a private members bill.
Yes, I know
So
about those.
You
yeah.
know about those? So you don't have to wait for the government or the Prime Minister to propose a bill. An MP from anywhere could propose one if you get pulled on the lottery system with an early number. So I got very lucky. And through the lottery, I got to propose a private members bill. And my private members bill was, for all of that infrastructure money that we're spending, don't you think we should put a green filter on it so that we understand the carbon that is involved in not just the construction and the location, but the long-term operation of whether it's a bridge or a highway or a hospital or a school or a bus fleet,
Yep.
so that we understand
Yep.
how we can track government's investment, Canadians'
Taxpayer
money,
dollars, yep.
investment into these infrastructure projects against our goals to reduce carbon in the atmosphere and try to get climate change under control.
Get some metrics.
And it
Yeah.
passed, and that green filter is now part of our government's massive.
Well done.
Well, thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you. So
That's
as a
awesome.
planner, I couldn't have asked for a better first-term experience in Parliament. So I'll share that with you.
Yeah, that's great.
The only thing that came close to it
What's the
was
Fillmore
this sandwich
Crunch?
right here. Look at this sucker. And it's low carbon too, I think.
Oh yeah, totally
It's
low
low
carbon,
carbon-
all the
low
way.
carbon footprint.
Local all the way.
Yeah.
Local pork.
Cooked with natural gas.
Local cheese.
Locally-
It's not
locally
natural gas.
made.
It's propane.
Oh,
Let's not get into that.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that either. Yeah,
I'm
not
just gonna
happening.
put something in my mouth.
Put something in your mouth. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome. We'll have you back anytime. Anytime.
Back anytime.
Yes. And if you'd love to come to a class, we'd love to have you at a class too. We do all sorts. Starting in September, we have our new list coming out with Chef Andrew Farrell.
Oh, nice.
Gonna rock
Okay,
it out
good.
of the park. And there's some really fun ones. He's got some really fun ones. Yeah, we're very excited. So
You mean based on a food, or fun based on a theme, or
fun based on. So he's got lots. There's lots of different themes, but he's done some like the Sopranos cooking.
Oh.
So like he has a lot of fun with it and like
Forgot about it.
approachable.
Like,
Yeah.
What do you call it, cartoon Italian or something?
Yeah, cartoon Italian.
Right, so he pulls them from the TV shows and Mama's Meatballs.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yes.
Maybe a nice red checkered tablecloth. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, and in the new space, it's going to even be more like kick it out of the park. So we're really excited. Yeah,
If you invite me, I'll be there.
awesome.
And I will invite you to sing karaoke sometime.
I'm all in. I'll get ready. Everybody
didn't-
here knows I love to sing.
You didn't say your song though. What's your song?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Back karaoke days, they were like back in the university days. We're talking like Indigo Girls and all sorts of things. So no, we'll have to pick some Beatles songs.
I know what it is.
What?
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Huh?
Okay, I'll practice
got it.
that one up. All right, well, that's it. Check us out next week. We have Mr. Paul Lamb. Any other questions before we sign off? No?
No.
We're good?
It's great.
Paul Lamb next week. We're heading to Shediac. Ginger, myself, Andrew, and Jordan tomorrow for Ocean Festive. If you're in New Brunswick, go to Shediac. Check us out Friday and Saturday, Ocean Festive. Signal Hill's playing. There's a couple other bands
Nice.
playing. It's going to be awesome. Chef Alain, the Kilted Chef, is there. He's the ambassador for the event. We've got a massive wedding down in Chester on the weekend, so good luck to that team. We're out of town.
Take your sunblock. Don't
Yeah,
forget
take your sunblock.
Yeah.
And all things awesome. Yeah, summer at Kitchen Door.
Thanks, everybody.
Are we gonna do chit chat chop? Or are we gonna just get rid of that?
no.
We're gonna get rid of that.
Get rid of
We're gonna get rid of the chit chat chop 5 times
you tell
fast.
what we used to do. We used to do.
At the end, we used to say chit chat chop 5 times fast, like super fast, like chit chat chop, chit chat chop, chit chat chop, chit chat chop, and we used to get our guests to do
I mean,
that.
I could do it.
I know, but you know what? I think that we're gonna say
Since-
It's retired.
yeah, it's retired. We're gonna say goodbye to that.
Andy's too classy. to
He
do
is.
that.
We've made it. Episode 48, man. We can't be doing that. It's Andy Fillmore.
Lucky 48. That's
Lucky
2
48.
2-4s, by the way.
Two
is what
2-4.
came to mind.
A true Halifax born and bred.
On that note.
On that note, see you next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Woke up this morning.